Good evening, Dr. Shafa. We are Group J from PRT 2009 Group 8. The topic for our presentation today is environmental issue in agriculture. Okay, my name is Muhammad Faris, match number 191598.
My name is Matesh Rao, matrix number 195980.
My name is Deng Chaohui, match number is 205071.
My name is Muhammad Ikram Hakam bin Hassan. My matrix number is 197922.
Hello everyone, my name is Angelina Gihit Anajari. My metric number is 196028. So I'm from
Okay,
group.
so let's start with Victor.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the environment issue in agriculture? Yes. Let's talk about the introduction of environment issue in agriculture. Its definition is the effect of different farming practice on the economics around them. The most obvious of this impact include soil degradation, population deforestation, and loss of biodiversity, waste generation, and climate change that horrendously impact the environment.
Okay, so let's move on to the issues surrounding environmental effect in agriculture. One of that is soil degradation, another is pollutant, and last one is climate change. So let's continue with Ikram.
Okay. I will explain the first issue on the environmental effects on agriculture, which the first issue is soil degradation. Okay. As its definition on the slide, soil degradation is the degradation of soil quality that occurs due to the improper land use, agriculture and pasture, urban industry purpose. Okay. Slide. Okay. First, the causes. One of the causes of the soil degradation is excessive use and the misuse of pesticide and chemical fertilizers. Okay. The effects of the soil degradation, it prevents the land from regeneration, water and land pollution, damage marine and freshwater ecosystem, and soil quality decline. Okay. Okay. Ways to overcome the soil degradation issue is we can do some land reclamation to make the soil great up again. Okay, next.
So, okay, the second issues is pollutants, which these pollutants will cause agricultural pollutions. So that's the general definitions of pollutants, where pollutants is something that pollutes the environment, and it will cause it pollutes the environment, which cause the pollutions. But in this, it cause agricultural pollutions. So in here we could see the definitions is contaminations we release into the environment as a byproduct of growing and raising livestock, food crops, animal feed, and biofuel crops. So a long time ago, agriculture was a natural practices that did not harm the land it was done on. Therefore, a long time ago, the farmers, they can inherit their land to the next generation without changing the fertility of the land, because they use natural products and natural ways to do agriculture. So due to nowadays is due to the modernization, so a modern agriculture was introduced, and it was practiced by a lot of farmers out there, and this actually the one that caused the pollutions to be occurred, because if it not handled properly, it will cause pollutions. Actually, it have a good things, good benefits. It have benefits, and it also have disadvantages, in which it the benefits of modern agriculture is it produce a high productions of crops, and it save time compared to natural ways in agriculture. So without further ado, about the pollutants, I'm going to introduce the causes of these pollutant agricultural pollutions. So the first one is the excessive usage of pesticides and herbicides. So as we know that pesticide and herbicide, it contains a lot of chemicals that are very dangerous to our, not only to our soil, but also to our environment, and to the others ecosystem in near the pesticides, the uses of pesticides. So it's something that actually we use this pesticide and herbicide is to increase our production of crops, and without we knowing that this excessive uses of pesticide will cause our environment to be harmed, and it will pollute our environments. So, also to the similar case is uses of high amounts of fertilizers. Fertilizers also have a high amount of chemicals that actually it used to repeat the productions of the crops, and this will cause high production of crops. But then it is contain a lot of chemicals, and these chemicals also will cause disadvantages to our environment, will cause our environment to be polluted, such as air pollute. For the pesticide, maybe air pollutes, but for fertilizer, maybe water pollutes, because these fertilizers, it will go into the soil and then go to the groundwater, and this groundwater will be like it will connected to some water sources, and this will cause water pollutions. So next is contaminated water, and actually this contaminated water is due to the uses of fertilizers and pesticides, where this contaminated water usually in the water of developed countries, it's much cleaner than in the underdeveloped countries. This is because disposal of agricultural waste are always into the river. It's or lakes or any other water systems that cause the water to be contaminated. And this due to this we will have many effects to our daily life and to our health. So yeah, next is the accumulations of heavy metals. So the heavy metals is due to the farming, some of farming techniques like irrigations that lead to accumulations of selenium. And these accumulations of seleniums, it will cause then our soil will be infertile, and also it will harmful to other ecosystem in the soil, such as maybe there's an animal in there, like a small animal like worms and etc. So next, if there is causes, also there will be effects. Or before that, we're going to see here, just like I explained. So in here we could see agriculture was practices here, and then if we're using herbicide, pesticide, fertilizer, and then fertilizer will be flow into this water here, and this will affect animals and also the humans here, and also it will affect the air, the pollutions, air pollutions, the water pollutions due to the agriculture here. So next is the effects of the agricultural pollution is the first one is the health related problem, where this have like obviously it will affect our health if we exposed to those contaminated things. So we're going to have these health related problems, because for example, if our water is contaminated, so when we drink the water that are contaminated, it will might cause like our health problems, such as we could like toxics in our bodies that are very harmful to our bodies, and we cause like what food poisoning and etc. If the our foods actually is it exposed to pesticide and herbicides, and one of the effects to have a related problem is, for example, is baby syndrome, baby syndromes, which this causes death in infants if the mothers is exposed to the pollutants such as herbicides, pesticides, and fertilizers, and also the metals. So yeah. Also, not only for that herbicide, pesticide, is also from the oil, metals, greasy things, toxins that are from farming equipments also cause this health problem to be occur, yeah, especially in our drinking water. And next, the effects is decrease in the productions of crops, and of course this will be occurred because when our soil is exposed to the contaminated things, our soil will be infertile, and this will cause the reductions of productions of crops. Other than that, next is biodiversity destructions, and this is one of the effects that are caused by the pollutants, where biodiversity will be destroyed. This is due to the this is as we know, in pesticide, when we use pesticide, actually we want to kill kill the harmful insects, but then there are also insects that are help our plant to grow, and for fertilizations of our crops. But then when we use this pesticide, it will cause it will cause the animals that are for good cause, it will for that are providing a good cause to our plant will be dead too. So this will destroy the destructions. This destroy the biodiversity. And next is a very important thing is ways to overcome. So the first one, of course, we have to reduce the uses of pesticide and herbicides. We could use some things that like it have been introduced like few years ago. It's called biopesticides. Biopesticide, which these are more safer than using chemical pesticide or herbicides. So you can reduce or you can change the uses of pesticide to biopesticides. And next is we could, other than using a fertilizer, we could use regular or passive compost in our agriculture, where actually this passive compost much much safer and it's cheaper, and this also offers many advantages, same as fertilizer, but in a good ways. It doesn't damage our environments. If in our environment. Okay, next is raises our awareness about agricultural pollution. This is a very and a vital ways to overcome these pollutants, because if the farmers did not have any awareness about the agricultural pollution, of course they will do something that will pollute our environments, and he or she, the farmers, doesn't know that this will cause much danger effects to his family, to his relative, and etc. And this is raises awareness could be done by the government, where they can, that we know that there are lots of agency out there, a government agency that introduce or give knowledge about about agriculture and a safe way to do agriculture. So that's all for the pollutants.
The next issue is climate change. Climate change refers to changes beyond the average atmospheric condition that are caused both by natural factors such as the orbit of Earth's revolution, volcanic activities, and by artificial factors such as the increase in the concentration of greenhouse gases and aerosol. Causes of climate change is mainly because intensive agriculture where feeding farm animals is one of the sectors that generate the highest amount of emissions of carbon dioxide. By looking deeper, it can be observed that agriculture and deforestation, it causes responsible for 21% of CO2 emissions in the decade from 2000 to 2010. And it occurs because agriculture needs an increasing amount of space alongside massive amounts of chemical fertilizers. Next is effects of the climate change. Agriculture is mainly climate dependent bioindustry. Climate change disturbs the agriculture ecosystem, resulting in the change in agriculture climatic elements such as temperature, precipitation, sunlight, while further influencing the arable livestock and hydrology sectors as well. Other than that, it also affects the agriculture ecosystem, where it giving rise to blights and pests and causing population movement and change in biodiversity. In the livestock sector, climate change brings about biological changes in areas such as fertilization and breeding, and also affects the growing pattern of pastures. And this is the summary of the effect of climate change in agriculture that I discussed just now. Okay. There are many ways to overcome climate change. We are focusing on these three ways. Firstly, usage of crop protection products, where farmers have continued to increase their yields despite the evolving threat of pests and disease. Next, nitrogen fertilizers contribute to high crop yields, and it one of the method farmers use to grow more food on existing farmland. However, if too much fertilizer is applied to a field, the excess runoff can find its way into surrounding land and water. To protect the environment and local habitats, plant scientists are developing the nitrogen use efficiency (NUE) traits. This technology will enable farmers to apply less nitrogen fertilizer without sacrificing their yields. And then finally, climate smart agriculture help us to guide actions to transform and reorient agriculture system to support development and food security effectively and sustainably under a changing climate. Basically, climate smart agriculture is not a new production system. It is about identifying which production system and enabling institutions are best suited to respond to the challenges of climate change for specific location to maintain and enhance the capacity of agriculture to support food security in a sustainable way.
Okay. So agriculture brings a lot of negative consequences to the environment, such as, like I mentioned before, soil degradation, pollution, and climate change. But it's very necessary and essential to our daily life. Without it, it will be devastating for us. Since we know both the causes for all this problem and the solution as well, us humanity must act to implement the solution. We need to further educate the young generation so they can take note and do well in order to prevent all these effects from happening to our environment. Okay, so that's all from Group J. So thank you very much, Doctor.